Welcome to episode 1 of the Department of Labor and Beer podcast. My name is Undone Porkchop. We got Bozinski over here and Mundo. And then our special guest, Mundo.
Undone Porkchop, like your Xbox.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
That's what we're rolling with right now, you know?
We're friends on Xbox, as you can tell.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm going to start you off with some news here. A 36-year-old man had been with 4 friends when he decided to visit a temple in rural Thailand. The monks keep around 24 boars and a number of bears in a small enclosure, which they care for and allow guests to feed. The 36-year-old man stood on a surrounding wall and reached into the enclosure to feed the boars, and he began playing with them, before teasing the bear with food. The bear stood on its hind legs and grabbed the man, dragging him into the enclosure, knocking him unconscious before tearing a lump from his shoulders. The man's friends eventually distracted and enraged the creature with a stick and jumped into the pit to free him. Emergency services arrived just after 11 local time. The man was rushed to a hospital where he is recovering and able to talk.
Did we learn nothing from Grizzly Man? I mean, seriously, have we not learned not to mess with these things?
Maybe it didn't make it to Thailand. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Oh, yeah. Do they have TVs there?
Yeah, dude. That's where they make them, right?
Oh, yeah. Toshiba, right?
Damn jungle Asians. Alright, so I got one more for you. An unnamed 27-year-old was drunk when he attempted to leap over the metal railing at, I'm going to guess, Kuznetsk, Russia. A spike at the top of the barrier pierced through his trousers and left him hanging by his manhood. He eventually managed to free himself and staggered to a local hospital bleeding profusely. And the reason why he was bleeding so bad is because he tore his entire cock and balls off and left it on the fence.
Oh, I saw that picture.
Oh, my God. So I searched around, and I really did try to find an unaltered picture of it.
It was blurred out.
Yeah, it was blurred out every time I tried to find it.
Some people pay good money for that service.
Have you seen this picture, Mundo?
No.
So this is the blurred version of the picture.
Oh, like the whole thing.
The whole dick and
whole
balls.
thing.
Like, this dude is, like, fucked.
And what's really messed up about it is, like, his is bigger than mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the real
And he lost
tragedy.
it. And he lost it.
That's the
Like,
real
maybe he was-
tragedy
Yeah,
here.
that's-
If he was smaller-
That's a perfectly fine penis right there.
If he was smaller, he might have gotten away with it.
It's
Yeah.
a little blurry. See, because I'm part Asian, my penis is pixelated, so nobody can ever film or record it.
Just automatically picks it
No,
up.
it's, I can't see it. It
I
looks
hate
like a
that porn.
Minecraft
I
cock.
hate
It's
that
crazy.
porn. I hate Asian porn for that reason.
I have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
All right, so our special guest today is Mundo. Go ahead and tell us a little about yourself, Mundo.
I go by Mundo, which is my last name. When I was in grade school, that's what everybody called me. It just stuck with me like my whole time. So here we are. Most people think it's my first name, so like Raymundo,
Yeah.
which is Raymond, Spanish for Raymond, but it's not. It's my last name. Most Mexicans are running into because I am a white Mexican. They
never told us that.
That's their first question to ask me. Is your name Raymond? Like, no, it's just Mundo.
So is your brother, you have a brother, right?
Yeah.
Is he as light skinned as you, or?
No, I got 2 brothers, and they're both brown. Like, I'm the only one that came out like this.
Is it albino
Yeah.
Mexican? Or?
Well, no, my mom's white, and my dad's Mexican, and my brothers they got my dad's pigment, and I got my mom's pigment. Was sometimes not always something that I liked. When I was a kid, I was kind of upset about that. I wanted to be brown and not white, but as I grew older, I kind of came to accept it, you know.
Did your brothers tease you about that, or?
Not too much, to be honest. Like me and my little brother were tight, and it came down to me sticking up for him a lot of the time. And in grade school, I got into a lot of fist fights. We moved from Los Angeles to Shelton, Washington, and they weren't really accepting about Mexicans in that town when we first got there. And so at bus stops every day, we were fist fighting, me and my bro.
Just because you were Mexican.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they didn't have Mexican farmers out there.
At that point in time, no. We're talking late '80s, early '90s, and there weren't a whole lot of Mexicans. I mean, you couldn't find taquitos anywhere. Seriously, like I love me some taquitos, and when I first moved to Charlotte, man, we looked for them joints everywhere. We had to learn how to make them ourselves.
It's not like you can watch a YouTube video at that time.
Mm-hmm. So, what we're gonna do this beer here soon?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
let's do it.
what kind of beer did you bring us? Let's get this out here.
I wanted to bring my favorite IPA, which is a Big Swell IPA, but I can't freaking find that anywhere. I even went to Bottleworks on Wallingford and 45th in Wallingford. They'll have pretty much the hard to find beers that you won't find in the grocery store, but even they didn't have it. So I brought an IPA from Portland, Oregon that I'd never had, and I figured we can try it out here.
All right, because I mean I've been to Beer Fest with you, so I was really curious as to what you were going to bring. I didn't know what your favorite was, and I kind of wanted to keep it a secret because I drink a lot of craft beers myself. So.
Well, I really like that Big Swell IPA from Maui Brewing Company in Hawaii, and it's delicious, but I just can't find it right now. I don't know if they're in between batches or what. That's the problem you run into when you drink craft beer.
All right.
In Hawaii, huh? Yeah. I know they made beer out there.
Well, yeah, Kona Brewing Company's right there.
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty well known.
Their brewery's really nice to eat out. They
Kona.
got really good food there. So.
Yeah, I've never been. It's on the bucket list.
All right, let's grab some beer.
Heck yeah. So you dealt with a lot of racism from white people towards Mexicans like that, really?
Oh yeah, when I was younger.
In Shelton?
Why do I not believe you on that?
Huh?
I don't believe you on that.
Oh,
White people aren't racist, man.
Oh. Everybody can be,
So what was your first shot, picking cherries?
See what I'm saying? And that's how it starts. It starts right there.
Right there. He's bringing the heat.
What's that white Mexican doing out there in the field, man?
Yeah.
Does it qualify?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to subtract some points because it's in a can.
Oh no. That
Starburst.
these days, a lot of the craft beers are put in their beer in can, and it keeps the flavor.
I can taste the difference.
No, you.
I can't.
No, you
I will bet you money I can taste the difference.
No, you
yeah,
can't.
I can.
Oh, we're gonna have to take that.
Dude, I will take a blind taste test.
Okay, that sounds good.
Starburst IPA.
Hopefully, it doesn't taste like Starburst. I can already see it's not as dark as I like my IPAs, but we'll see.
Well, you gotta think about the lighter IPAs.
Well,
My whole thing is once you go white, you see the light.
when I went to Beer Fest, I tried this IPA from New York State, and they hardly used any freaking hops in these things. It was like brown water. I'm like, I thought IPAs was the thing that made it an IPA was more hops, right? So what's the deal with that on the East Coast? I don't think they know what they're doing with the hops. All right, so what do you think?
It's fruity. It's light. It's easy.
We drink a lot of it. We'll go down easy. It's like one of those after dinner beers, I think. Like it won't, when you're full, you can still drink it.
Yeah, it's a little light for my taste in IPAs. I like the bitterness.
I don't know. I think
Usually.
it's a good summer IPA.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, if it was a hot day, and you wanted something, it's not dark. It's not gonna leave you full.
It's a good barbecue IPA.
Yeah.
Well, who's counting calories, right? I mean,
Obviously, I'm not.
No.
Well, our coworker Matt quit drinking beer altogether, and so after a year, I asked him, well, how much weight did you lose? He said, I didn't lose any. And so I felt really good about that because they say all these empty calories, and he didn't lose any weight. So I'm just gonna keep drinking beer.
probably because he's lazy at work.
All right, so Mundo, you started us out in early childhood. Can you bring us a little more into your working career and maybe some late teenage years? Kind of give us some background of how you became who you are today.
Well, how I got started in carpentry was I went to the penitentiary when I was 22.
No way.
Before that, I was dealing a lot of drugs. I dropped out of school. I did everything that they tell you not to do on those commercials, the after-school programs. What I'm saying? Dropped out of school, smoking a lot of weed, hanging out with the homies. So I was more interested in getting high with my homies and finding some kind of pussy to get into than I was going to school, which is something I really regret right now. But
So just out of curiosity, what kind of drugs?
Well, I smoked weed, but I was dealing in cocaine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get from Shelton fighting at the bus stop every day to dealing drugs and going to the penitentiary?
Samoans. Now, my best friend in middle school and high school was a Samoan kid, and he introduced me to his cousins, and then I started hanging out with them, and then I started going to Olympia and going to high school parties in Olympia, and I found that in Olympia, cats were a lot more accepting of me, you know what I'm saying, and I could be myself around them, and that's where it all started. Like, I met one wrong dude, went to another wrong dude, and pretty soon I was cooking crack in the kitchen.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got deep.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I met some. Luckily, nothing bad happened to me. I mean, I had some friends that. I had a couple friends whose dad got killed in their backyard during a drive-by while they were having a family picnic. You know, I've had a friend who had a couple drive-bys on his house, while one of my friends was sleeping on the couch, and the bullet went through the window above him and then through the couch underneath him, but didn't hit him. You know what I'm saying? So, luckily, I've avoided any kind of damage to my body and to my family like that. But I did meet some cats that were deep in the game. Taught me how to cook crack, and taught me how to, you know what I'm saying, load my gun with my bandana so I didn't get no fingers on the bullet casings, and, you know what I'm saying, taught me all the stuff that I needed to survive in prison. If I didn't know this stuff, then cats would think that I wasn't real. So I at least learned how to speak to other people while I was locked up.
Did you think being incarcerated actually helped you, or do you think that it just taught you to be a smarter criminal?
It helped me in that I don't know if I'd be here right now if I didn't go to the penitentiary. When I went to the penitentiary, I learned that life has its limits. You know what I'm saying? There's only two ways out. You're either going to die or you're going to stay in the pen. And I knew a lot of cats that would get out and then come right back. I didn't want to be like that, so I decided to change my ways when I was in there. And when I got out, I didn't contact the old homies. I didn't go back to the old streets. I went my own route, and this is where it comes back to carpentry. My older brother Eric, during this whole time, was starting his business as a contractor building homes in Shelton. And so when I got out, I had a job waiting for me, and he trained me up in the business of carpentry because he wanted me to have something to fall back on. You know, he wanted me to have something that I can do to make money for me and my family. And when I say my family, I say this because at the time when I went to the penitentiary, I had 2 kids, 2 girls. And so when I got out, like six months after I got out, I found myself having custody of both my kids. And their mom had done so bad when I was locked up that she had got on meth. You know what I'm saying? And meth wasn't even really a thing when I went to the penitentiary, but it had blown up during the time that I was in there, and crack wasn't really selling like it was. And so it was all about the meth game, and she got hooked on meth, and my other kid's mommy, that's right, I had 2 kids like 2 baby mamas. That's how we do. And
Represent.
she got messed up in the gang life, and she wasn't in the right position to have the kids. So here I am, fresh out of the penitentiary, and I got 2 kids, but I had a job building homes, and so I went to work every day. I got myself a little house out there in Shelton, a little 700 square footer with a yard, and front yard and backyard. We got ourselves a dog, and I did it every day by myself for years.
Right on, man.
So I have a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. I couldn't imagine taking care of 2 young kids on my own without any mom around or what. How old were your daughters when you got them?
I want to say like 8, 10. Yeah, around there.
So from then on out, you took care of them.
Yeah.
Till they were 18 and moved
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
How long were you in jail for?
I did 4 years. Every day at 4 years because I had a gun enhancement. There's no good time with gun enhancements.
Right.
Which just kind of gave me a little bit of freedom while I was in there because I could, throw down or do whatever, and I wouldn't have to worry about losing any good time, but just as long as I didn't kill nobody and get re-beefed or something and live around longer.